Yeah, hi everyone. I do hope that everyone can hear me. I do not have any special mics attached in any way, shape, or form. So I hope the sound on the phone is good enough. So this is Dean Laprini. I haven't shared a post for some time now, and I was guided to come up here onto the mountains of Glencairn near where I live, and I have been called to what I call my little blue sage cave. There is a lot of natural blue sage growing outside the entrance to this cave. It's a small little shelter, and I feel very held in this space. So we've got a full moon coming up, and I wanted to do this post as this moon grows full, and looking forward to sharing a lot more with all of you going forward. So on my way up today, you know, when you work energetically or shamanically, it is very much about being in the present and knowing that we are all deeply connected to our relations, the sun, the moon, the stars, the animals, the plants, the land, and of course to each other. So everything we do when we journey shamanically is to be in presence, connected, and to understand and know that connection is very real. And this will also relate to my post today that focuses on the spirit dream and how we use that to glean our guidance, insights, visions for our path forward. So today I came up the mountain, and the connection was very strong to some white butterflies, you know, obviously representing a time of change, metamorphosis, if you like, a time for us to reach our full potential in this lifetime. And the second thing I was guided to was a very large patch of porcupine activity from last night. So there were at least 12 or 15 different dig holes from the activity of the porcupines last night. And you know, the porcupine is a very interesting animal. It's a nighttime animal. It's connected to the stars, and you know, their message or their spirit message is about knowing that you are protected, and that you have your in some people have referred to it as you wear your armor comfortably. In other words, you are in your sovereignty, and you know that you are protected by this great spirit that we are all very much a part of. So it was really nice to connect with that spirit of the porcupine on my way here to Blue Sage Cave. This is a time where we are regaining our spiritual sovereignty, and as we remember our connection to the greater spirit, as children of creation, we strengthen our spiritual core, and we know that we are held and we are protected. So I'm going to be reading this first section so that I don't miss anything. I had to rewrite it. I have also cut and pasted it into the comments below before I get into the deeper insights of the Spirit Dream Portal. So today's sharing, Spirit Dreaming, is the first that will fall under my series, The Origins of Human Spirituality. And I ask you all to support me if you can. I am not used to doing posts or podcasts in any great measure, so this is going to be something new. So please go to my YouTube channel, share it and like it. If you want to support me, join one of my sacred site journeys that you'll find on my website. That will take us to Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, the Garden Route, and we engage with the sacred lands there, the people, the animals along the way. Very transformative journeys, very empowering journeys. And then you can also, if you like, you're welcome to offer a small donation with my PayPal. I've now put a buy me a coffee link, which is something very strange to me, but it's nonetheless, it is there. So I will be eagerly looking forward to sharing lots more about the sacred sites in Southern Africa that I've researched over the past 30 years. And the title of my recent paper, The Origins of Human Spirituality, that includes Archaeo astronomy, shamanism, Archaeo acoustics, altered states of consciousness, and the many megalithic sun and moon shrines across Southern Africa. And through my own personal experience, a dream portal or dimension totally exists. We have all heard of prophetic dreams and visions that people have experienced over the centuries of recorded history. Obviously, I believe this goes way further back. However, as I have worked shamanically over the past 30 years, long before I even knew what a shaman meant, I can only truly share my personal experience and understandings of this dream portal. So basically, I do not read books, I do not get guidance from books or others. It is really from my own personal spiritual experiences and the spirit dream in particular, my understandings and interpretations, and the guidance that I have received. This episode, I will share my latest of 2 spirit dreams I have received about 2 weeks ago that involved my connection to the San and to the Khoisan community. And the second is relating to the upcoming solar eclipse on the 17th of February 2026. Although I occasionally do live Facebook posts from time to time, perhaps once or so a month, I have recently been called physically, spiritually, and energetically to step up to a greater sharing platform and to share my findings and teachings that I have gleaned over the years through speaking, through spending conscious time in these sacred sites and caves and megalithic shrines of Southern Africa, and where I have been tapping into the many timelines and conscious memories that can be felt, heard, seen, and experienced, past, present, and future. As many of you know, I've recently compiled an academic study that endeavors to bridge science and spirituality in the form of a thesis, a study of landscape Archaeo astronomy entitled The Origins of Human Spirituality, Megalithic Sun and Moon Shrines in Southern Africa. So I ask you all to offer your support by liking and joining that YouTube platform, because that is where I will be sharing numerous and regular podcasts going forward, Zoom meetings, workshops, of the sacred sites and the ancient spiritual knowledge systems that I have learnt along the way. I believe that what I have to share comes out at an opportune time when our spiritual alignment, our connection, integrity, and sovereignty as divine beings born from the song of creation is of utmost importance, as we are now remembering more of who we are than ever before, and standing stronger in our heart centers, and feeling a deeper connection to this, our universal and multiversal choir, to which we can now truly share our heart song and prayer and intentions into our, or should I say the, collective, where we can then also receive our guidance back from this great collective, this song of creation, as we co-create and pave our way into the future. So I'm going to share a little bit more about my understanding of the dream portal in particular, the reason being that, you know, my path has led me for many years across the lands of Southern Africa, and one of the places that I was led to some 35 or more years ago was a place along the coast called the Maikes River, and a very sacred site there, burials of the ancient peoples, shell middens that are piled very, very high from hundreds and thousands of years of human habitation in that area. And one of the main features at near the mouth of the Maikes River is what people call the Arch Rock or Cathedral Rock. It is also known as the Vulva Rock. And that is, you can see in my book, Pathways of the Sun. I'm going to just try and see if you can see that picture. As you can see, it has a very strong, powerful image opening up into the primal waters of the ocean, and very much representing the female vulva. And I was led there many, many years ago on my spirit quest, and I lived and stayed there in the wild for many, many years, over many years, but I spent many months there alone, and occasionally I had a girlfriend come visit me. But my reason for going there was to have a deeper connection to the land, and where I spent time living off the ocean mostly. And it is also where I had my first spirit dream. My real awakening spiritually happened at that place, at that portal. So I now call this the dream portal, dream tide, where personally I have gone back and experienced an increased spirit dream connection whenever I am in that particular area. So to give you an insight to how I awoke to this dream, is that I had gone down at low tide to go gather my food for the day, and the tide was coming in, and I managed to harvest a few little alicrickle, some seaweed, and I took 2 baby abalone which at that time I did not know, but it was a separate species all of its own. It only grows that small. But when I was taking them, I felt guilty, and that I was actually removing a baby perlemoen, as we would call them here in Southern Africa. And at that time, I had a little kitten living with me in the jungle, and I gathered all my food, and I'd also picked up some red bait, and I had had a connection with spirit, a communication with spirit, where I said, okay, if I catch a fish now, I will put those abalone back. So I went and I threw in a fishing line, and I caught a fish, but it was like this big. It was what we call a streepie. And interestingly enough, also a fish that can offer induced states of consciousness, but that will be for another time. So when I looked at this little fish, and I looked at the few little, two or three little abalone, and the seaweed and the alicrickle, I figured, you know, the fish normally I probably would have just thrown back, but because I had the kitten, I decided I would keep them all. So I went back, and we shared a meal, and it was sufficient for both of us. And that night, early morning, I entered into the spirit dream, and I was inside a sea cave where I was in the back of the cave, and there was a wall with some big abalone on a natural rock ledge. So I was looking at these abalone, wondering what they were doing there and whose they were. And then I turned around, and as I turned around, the whole cave opened up into a 14th century Chinese marketplace that was in full swing, with the cobblestones and the wooden wheelbarrows, and everyone busying about their daily marketplace activities. And out of the marketplace, a man of much greater stature came out, and he was wearing a black sort of robe outfit, and he walked past me, and I asked him, I said, excuse me, who do those abalone, or I said perlemoen, who do those perlemoen belong to? And he turned to me and he replied, that is the food of the mandarin. And of course I looked rather blank, because I had no idea what a mandarin even meant at that time. So what I did is I asked him again. I said, sorry, whose food is that? I mean, sorry, who do those abalone belong to? And he turned to me again and said exactly the same words. That is the food of the mandarin. So I remember the dream. I wake up in the morning. I go immediately. I think I've got to go figure out what this word mandarin means. I go to the walk back to the Keerboom's town, and I go to a friend of mine's mother, whom I asked to see her dictionary. So I open the dictionary up to where it says Mandarin, and there it says Mandarin is a spiritual teacher or guide. So I go, wow, that's amazing. So suddenly I'm receiving words that I've never heard. I'm getting an interpretation from the dictionary, at least that I saw at that time. And it is giving me some insight to perhaps some connection to my past, who knows, a past life, or either way, it was connecting me to a time period that I had no clue or no interest in whatsoever. So what this dream did is that it completely, if I had any inhibitions about religion or culture, race, beliefs, they were just completely gone. I now realize that we are all part of a much greater collective, and that we actually have the capacity to connect through the dream time, to receive guidance. And that is where my spirit dreaming began. And of course, now after many years, I realize that that connection to the Chinese and to the Mandarin, the teacher, is very much woven into my life. And more than likely, it was me in a past life as a teacher from the Mandarin people. And of course, they also have deep insight to geomancy and the understanding the chi energy that flows through the earth. And over the years, of course, this is something that I have become very involved with and have been teaching divining, using divining rods for many years now. And in fact, I have a workshop coming up next weekend. So, yeah, the spirit dream is a very, very real place. And I have had numerous prophetic dreams. One of the first was where I saw my sister's child being born, you know, at least 6 months before it was born and before they knew what the sex was. And I had told my wife that I had had the dream and that it was a boy. And that is exactly the case. So, dreams are there for us to glean guidance and advice from, the spirit dreams. And it's not everyone's necessarily job to have spirit dreams and to share them. Sometimes they are just for our own calling and our own path. But when you work shamanically with your community, generally the person who is the shaman, the spiritual guide of that particular family, it's his role to go and see through altered states of consciousness or through the spirit dream. So that is one of my roles. And now also how I know that my role in this lifetime is as a spiritual teacher or guide, and to work more energetically, shamanically with the land and all our relations. So the spirit dream that I want to share with you today, there were two. The first was a connection to the San and Khoisan peoples, and I was with them in the evening. They were outside one of the government buildings where they were trying to pursue where they wanted to gain their sovereignty back. And it's very interesting because the San and the Khoisan people are certainly rallying right now and trying to reconnect with their ancestral roots, and also to be acknowledged by government, and to seek their rights as sovereign beings, to visit their sacred sites and to express their spirituality in whichever way, shape or form they want, and to have access to these sacred lands and to their ancestral lands. So I am very much involved with the San and the Khoisan peoples, the communities, And in that dream, I was there in support of them. We were up against, you know, the forces, the police who were trying to usher us out of that area. They were trying to sleep the night on benches nearby, and myself included, but trying to hide away from this threat of being chased away and not allowed to stay there. So that particular dream, I actually had 2 sticks in my hand, just two sticks like this, one of the first, probably one of the earliest musical instruments that us humans have engaged with. And in the dream, I was tapping it and singing a song to them, each one individually offering a prayer. And I was also playing my kalimba music to them, to offer them, to awaken within the whole dream focus was to offer them support with regards to their sovereignty, and for them to remember joy and freedom in their hearts. So I was singing the joy and the freedom as though it was there. And of course, the next morning I awoke with the dream, and I immediately went to the bush. I found a place, and I drew my first circle and the dot, which is one of the symbols that I work with. It has to do with the birth of creation, and of course also the raindrop that is life. And I offered a prayer there. I picked up the 2 sticks and I offered my prayer in my prayer song, Nama, 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 Su. And I offered prayers to all the different areas of Southern Africa, and in fact across the world, to share my heartfelt intention for peace and for joy and for freedom to be felt in the hearts of humanity right now. So this is how we take a spirit dream, and we are given the guidance so that we can actually do something. So, you know, talking about something is one thing, but actually taking action on it is what we are required to do. So follow the dream, bring it into reality. And so that was my first spirit dream. And obviously, when I share this with you, I'm offering also for you to perhaps share the dream, because we are dreaming ourselves into the future here. We are dreaming the path into the now. And I would like to dream the awakening of the joy and the freedom that can be felt in the hearts of humanity right now. So it is up to us to help sing this into reality. So wherever you find yourself, perhaps this is something you can offer into your prayers and hold it in your hearts in order to help it to come fully into reality. So that was the first dream that I wanted to share with you briefly. And the second dream is to do with the upcoming solar eclipse. So I awoke in the morning after I'd had the dream, and the dream, well, this is my little vision. This is my dream picture that I drew in the morning, and this is the solar eclipse happening up above me, and this is the solar eclipse being reflected in the waters below, and these are the mountains in the back, and this is a path that walks through the water to a tree. And in this dream, it was actually set at first the scene was in a war kind of environment, where I was engaging with some foreign peoples. I don't know if it was in the Middle East or what, but very possibly. I didn't recognize the language that the people were speaking, and where people were trying to cross over a border At first it was very difficult, and then it was as though it all became very easy, and everyone was just crossing that border without any fear in their hearts at all. Just let's do it. So yeah, and the main message here in the dream, after that experience of breaking through the fear of being caught, and just realizing to stand strong in your sovereignty and push through the bullshit, the dictatorship, the control, and to really gain your sovereignty and your own self-governance and your own truth. So after that moment, I looked up and I saw the solar eclipse happening up in the sky in the mid-heaven, and I turned to see a grouping of people, and I said, we must go and pray and do this ritual and connect to this time of the solar eclipse. So we went out. Most of them were women, but there were some men. So I walked a path, and the path that I followed was through the water. There was a path walking through the water, where I was able to connect and see the reflection of the solar eclipse happening in the sky above. There was even like this sort of interesting sundog halo around the sun, being reflected in the water at that time, and a big tree. So when I awoke from the dream, I knew that I am supposed to be pulling some people together for this solar eclipse on the 17th. And it so happens that the guidance that I received and the deeper insight to it is that I know this place. And guess where it is? It's right here at the Dream Portal site. So I am going to travel back up to Plettenberg Bay just before the 17th. I haven't put this event out yet, but I will be calling people together to go to the sacred vulva rock, where we will do a cleansing and a ritual, letting stuff go, and then we will walk into the Maikes River, through the river, and we will also go and visit the great grandmother tree that is there, that I used to go to and to go and pray. So a very powerful energetic vortex there that I will be leading a group into to go and do some prayer. And the main theme for this prayer was, the words that came were to sacralize, well, one, to cleanse, in other words, we will be getting in the water, and the other was to sacralize the divine union inwardly and outwardly. So this is an opportunity for us to sacralize our divine union with ourselves, our divine mother, father, child energies with ourselves, within ourselves, our divine union with the greater song of creation. So this will be very much the theme for this day, and we will again be taking that opportunity to sing this intention and this sacred divine union within ourselves, with regaining our spiritual sovereignty, regaining our spiritual union with ourselves and the greater collective. So these are again ways that you receive a spirit dream, and then you go out and you make it a reality. You do the work, in other words. And this will be my calling now, to go and do just that. So this is how a little brief insight to how to work with the spirit dreams. I can give you, I will share a lot more in depth. I can surely write a book on spirit dreaming, but to give you a deeper insight, I will be sharing more in the future. These threads that connect us to these dimensions, the ways that we connect, sometimes it is the land itself that somehow the energetic of that land, the frequency or the vibration of that land supports the spirit dreaming in a greater way. So this particular place for me personally is without any doubt where my spirit dream connection is fully activated. So there are places that on our Mother Earth that we can be drawn to that can again enhance our spirit dreaming. The abalone just happens to be a brain food, and the chemicals in it are said to activate our brains and to actually regenerate our brains. So again, the deeper insight to the spirit dream of the Chinese mandarin and the abalone, I have now become aware that actually that was the food I'm supposed to eat, and that it is the food that can enhance my connection to the dream state. So sometimes it is also the medicine from the land that can help to activate and amplify your connection to the dream state. So when I first understood the greater connection to this song of creation, the words and the guidance that I received from one of the sacred sites was very simple, because I'd asked the question, well, what, you've had me running around these mountains for many years now, you know, following the pathway, the sun and the light and the stars, what's it all about? And the words that came back were very simple. It said, we are all made of and are pulsating shades of light. So when I saw a symbol, it was a tetrahedral structure pulsing with light, and that was the essence of who I was, I guess, or we are. So we are all made of and are pulsating shades of light. If we interpreted that we are all made of, the pulsing refers to the frequency or the vibration, and the shades of light refers to the colors or the spectrum of light. And our our glands together, pituitary and hypothalamus, pineal glands, these are all sacred glands that connect us and are capable of creating visions through the chemical balances that they create. So when I looked at that structure, I think I drew a picture here somewhere. Let's see where it is. So the pulsating shades of light, this is an image here that shows where the divine essence within us is a double vortex, toroidal energetic field that is in a sphere and held in a double tetrahedral structure. So this is just the geometry, if you like, and the way I understand it is that from the original source of creation that was born from that void, as however you want to understand it, it was in that stillness that the unborn child of creation called in a divine womb space that was held and protected by an outer masculine energy. So the divine family, the male, the womb, the female, and the child are, in from my perspective, what we are born from. And in essence, it is the unborn child wishing itself to be born, and it was the loving, caring, nurturing, protecting energies of the mother and father collectively. So in essence, it was love itself that was born. This very first uttering of creation is a song of love. And we find ourselves down from this original pulsing of light. We find ourselves now where we are, surfing this wave of the collective consciousness. However, we are all intrinsically and inherently connected to the divine source, the code, the original song or vibration of creation, that God, first voice of God, as some people may say, which I believe to be the divine song of love. So when we are tapping into the great collective, us as pulsating shades of light, we have our song, our frequency, our vibration that is able to connect into the great collective right across the different timelines and dimensions, where we can one, co-create and sing our intentions into the collective, and also where we can ask for guidance from this great collective. So our threads are completely woven in to this collective fabric of all creation and divine creation, and where we are able to, which is our divining resource. We have, as divine beings, this connection to the divine collective, and therefore we are able to tap in to this great collective and receive whatever guidance we need to. And the dream state is one of those. So I think that's probably enough for one day. So just wanted to send you all much love and blessings for the full moon that is coming up. It's going to be a big one. I will be doing a little ceremony on Sunday evening. The moon actually reaches its fullest just after midnight on Sunday. So looking forward to keeping in touch with all of you and to sharing my work a lot more on YouTube and on Facebook. In order to do this, I need your support as well. So as it's going to take a lot more time and energy to create this platform and to make it happen. So it'll be up to you to help me make it happen if you find this of interest to you. Please join the YouTube channel, and if you want to join any of my upcoming journeys, that's another way you can support me. I love doing these sacred site journeys. They are very deep and very profound. So take a look at my website, join the YouTube channel, and then I look forward to my next sharing, which will probably be within a week or so. So sending you much love and blessings from Cape Town, South Africa.